Shalom. Allah start off by giving praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, citations to the old fillet that's pushing this truth across four corners of the earth and all faith, truth, and sincerity. This I'm a wanna buy back getting us sitting. This one going to how about these powerful Edomites, the so-called white people, red people, the red double Edomites. How they proudful ways, and the things they say, is gonna lead to their demise or destruction, by the Lord Yahushua. By Yahweh Yahushua when he returns in the chariot, so-called UFO. These Edomites think that they're gonna be on top forever. They talking all Trump. I say talking all this big stuff. And I say these bankers, these elites. They want control of everything of the earth. They want every country's resources. They want to take full control. But that's not going to fully happen for these Edomites, so-called white people, red devil Edomites, man. Because Lord Yahushua, he's going to bring these Edomites down. The proudful ways of the Edomite doubles. Trump, and these elites or whatever, and so forth. These elites, the wicked elite, the Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and so forth, right? Who you could think of, that's have control over, the money and resources and this and that, right? And in the media, they push out a lot of propaganda and lies and deception. But Lord Yahushua, he's gonna bring these proud devils down, soon, and this place, America, Babylon the Great, gonna be destroyed. Lord Yahushua gonna destroy this place, America, Babylon the Great as well. But I'm getting to it. It's on Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So pride go before destruction. I say, Trump talking all that craziness, every time he get on, either on the internet or he on a microphone, he just, just, putting out crazy stuff, talking big shit, but, that's that prideful ways of the Edomite doubles, like I say, they think that, they just gonna be, the ones that's gonna, they want to be like the Most High, like I say. They want to be the ones that, everyone you gonna bow down to, the so-called white people, red Edomite doubles, but that's, the time, of y'all rulership is at the end, y'all could try to, establish y'all wicked NWO agenda, but it's not gonna work, because like I said, Lord Yahushua is gonna return and bring down you wicked Edomite doubles, And like I said, the apostles and the elders of the brother Great Millstone are telling you proud wicked Edomite doubles, that your time of rulership is coming to an end. You getting that warning, you getting that warning by the men of the Lord, the prophets, that the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua set up, in these times. And y'all gonna see, well, we know times now of your rulership is going down. This place, America, Babylon the Great, is at its end. It just, physically, hasn't got there yet, but it will happen. Cause like I said, Lord Yahushua, he gonna return, in a chariot, so-called UFO, with the angels, and bring, their wrath and destruction upon this place, America, Babylon the Great, But before Lord Yahushua returns, this place, America, Babylon the Great is already gonna be, uh, um, somewhat, uh, already messed up, cities. You're gonna have cities, fires, lit up, because of the riots and so forth. That's gonna come about. Like I say, the more that, like I say, these gas prices and food prices and so forth, everything rising up, it's gonna lead people just, they're gonna lose it, man. People losing it now, but it's gonna get way worse than what it is. Ain't seen nothing yet. This ain't nowhere near with how bad it's gonna get. Like I say, and I said, Lord, how about just bringing the plagues upon this place. We are gonna be a lot of pestilence, diseases, people getting sick, dying. Back to back. A lack of food. Famine. So forth, man. There's a whole lot of death and destruction that's coming to America, Babylon the Great, because of the proudful ways of the Edomite doubles and these people here in America, Babylon the Great. But I'm go from there. Well, nah. I'm go to let's see, let me go back. So pull up that way. So I'm going to Ecclesiastes 10 and 13. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that have it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord, Yahweh shall brought up upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. So that's what's coming. Lord Yahweh shall finna bring, a whole bunch of calamities, like I said, a lot of death and destruction, a lot of the plagues, right? Upon this place in America, Babylon the Great, the droughts, the pestilence that's going on right now, like I said, the famine, people out here, going, just losing it, right? All out chaos in America, the streets of Babylon the Great. Like I said, the power could go out, so a lot of things are, it's gonna come about. A lot of people are not. A lot of people in America, Babylon the Great, is not gonna be prepared mentally, spiritually, when all hell breaks loose. When things start to really get bad out here in America, Babylon the Great. The situation with Cuba. Like I said, we already in times of Jacob's trouble. The situation going on in Cuba, because Cuba is the tribe of Manasseh. So y'all got time. Y'all Cuba, the tribe of Manasseh. I think they running out of oil. Matter of fact, let me look it up. Let me see something real quick. Cuba. So let's see. Because it says Cubans cook with charcoal and wood fires to survive during energy crisis. They ain't got no oil. And U.S. fuel exports to Cuba rises, blackouts, and shortages continue in the islands. We already in the time of Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is already going on. With Cuba, like I said, it's the tribe of Manasseh. But it's gonna get worse. For all the tribes, the 12 tribes of Israelites. But that's the times that we ain't going forward. It ain't gonna get no better. But like I said, Lord Yahweh, like I say, these people in America, Babylon the Great, still partying, bullshitting, having cookouts, and and Jake out here still, just want to have fun, or but that's gonna come to an end, man. Lord Yahweh finna bring finna bring horrific judgments down on the place, America, Babylon the Great. It's finna take a lot of people off guard, man. A lot of people are not gonna be ready what's about to hit them. Like I said, one day It just takes one day. A lot of things get changed for people, man. No more of the same routine of getting up and going to work or whatever the routine you do. Same routine, right? That's gonna stop. It's gonna be, hey, you're gonna have to try to, survive out here. You gotta try to, watch your back. So, but like I said, Lord Yahushua, Lord Yahushua is gonna make sure that his elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, Israelites is taken care of. When those times come, when things really get out of control. Even right now, but when things really get out of hand, if you're a part of the righteous number of the elect of Israel, hopefully I am, those that believe, in Lord Yahushua and his truth, hopefully the Lord Yahushua have mercy, in these times going forward, man. But go to Ecclesiastes 10:14. The Lord had cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. So Lord Yahushua, he has cast down the throne of proud princes and set up the meek. And so we had the Most High Yahweh. He bought down, Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was proud. He didn't take heed to the warning, right? He didn't, he got bought down low. And I say Pharaoh, in Egypt, Mizraim, all that in Egypt, in the time of Egypt, right? Pharaoh, didn't listen to Moses, didn't take heed to the warning of Moses, let my people go, and those plagues came upon Egypt, Mizraim, and, that's going to be the same thing that's going to happen in America, Babylon the Great. The apostle Elzebub, Brother Great Millstone, Lord, I tell you, you so-called white people, red Edomite devils, and Lord Yahweh Bashar for bringing judgment upon this wicked place, place America, Babylon the Great, this wicked system. That's ran by you proud white, red Edomite devils. You elites. That's running this, this world, this system. Your wicked system. You pushing all this, abomination that the Lord Yahweh Bashar hates, man. And he sees it, and he's gonna bring his wrath of judgment down. It's close. It's gonna come hard down, in this plunge place. Things are happening now, but I say it's gonna catch a lot of people off guard how bad it's really gonna get. It's gonna be right in their front door. Things bad. Things it's getting there. It's bad now. It's not as bad, but it's gonna get it's gonna get way worse. But like I said, Lord Yahushua gonna settle the meek in their stead. Like I said, that's the elect. I said the men of the Lord, the apostles, and the elders of Brother Great Millstone, the elect. The elect men. That's gonna be the next rulers of the earth and more. Under Yahushua, King David. Like saying the elect. Gonna be set up. To rule. To have rulership over the earth and more. But I'll go from there. Ecclesiastes 10:15. The Lord had plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. The Lord, how about you? He's gonna pluck up, the roots of the proud nations. Like I say, he had plucked up the roots of the proud nations, like proud nations. Excuse me. The Lord Yahweh have plucked up the roots of the proud nations. Like I say, you had kingdoms that came about, right? The rulers, but y'all brought them down. It's gonna be the same way. Like I say, Lord Yahweh, makes me turn chairs and call your foe. He's gonna bring down this so-called white people, these so-called white people, Edomite devils rulership down. And he's gonna plant the lowly in their place. That's the elect. And I say, the ones that's pushing this truth, the ones that, the men of the Lord, the apostles and the elders of Brother Great Millstone that, sacrifice, the things of this world. They took losses to, serve the Lord Yahweh Shai, push his word, and hope for, the mercies, of Lord Yahweh Shai to be delivered, to escape the wrath of judgments, and to not be a part of the second death. which gonna be by way of the fire of the thermonuclear missiles. But I'm going from there. Next verse. Ecclesiastes 10:16. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. So the Lord Yahweh, he overthrew the countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundation of the earth. So hey, let's say everything here in America, Babylon Great, is gonna be completely destroyed, wiped away, man. Everything here nothing's gonna be left, man. So and I say the pride of my devils gonna get overthrew by the Lord Yahweh when he turns in the chariot to call you a foe. But go from there. So end off of this, Ecclesiastes 10:17. He took some of them away and destroyed them, and have made their memorial to cease from the earth. So that's what's coming. Lord Yahweh, he's going, hey, everything that you see, these statues and so forth, or these Edomite devils, Mount Rushmore and all that, these statues and so forth, or these Edomite devils, their remembrance of them is gonna be is gonna cease. Their reign of wickedness, terror, their reign of, what I'm saying, they pushing all this wickedness out here, in the world, is gonna come to an end. So Lord said, Lord Yahweh is gonna do that when he returned in chariots to call your foe, with the laser beams zapping. And then, like I said, the thermonuclear missiles raining down upon America, Babylon the Great, and other countries as well gonna get hit with missiles. But America, Babylon the Great, gonna be, gonna get, most of the missiles, destruction, and be utterly burnt up. So everything here gonna be destroyed, man. It's not gonna be left. Nothing gonna be left here, man. So I didn't want to make this too long. So I hope this was edifying. So again, give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Harakakadash, to the apostle elders, to the Sisakim brothers, to the few Akwaf sisters, to do this and keep the faith in Yahushua, keep fighting with that shit. Shalom.